So today we're going to talk about how to become an angel investor and what does that mean even. And so the first thing you're going to need to do is be an accredited investor. And what that means is someone who makes either $200,000 a year or they have $1 million in net worth. And that means you're an accredited investor. The SEC considers you an accredited investor. And so for a startup, there's a lot less paperwork and things they have to do to take money from people who are accredited. And that's why pretty much every startup only accepts accredited investor. Second thing you're going to want to pay attention to is the risks and the timeline involved with really early stage startup investing. So a lot of people know that 99.9% of startups fail, so that in itself is risky. And when you're investing in the early stages, it's extremely risky. There's a billion things that could go wrong. The founders could hate each other. A competitor can come out. Facebook could come out with one, with the exact same features tomorrow. So there's so much risk involved, and so definitely pay attention to the risks that are involved and the timeline. The timeline is really important. So if you're investing $50,000 today, you might not see, even if the company is doing great, you might not see that money for 6, 9, 10 years. The company has to have a liquidation event. So that means either one of two things happen. They IPO, so like you've seen with Uber or Airbnb, or they get sold. And they can sell for a lot of money. So Amazon could buy them, and that's great. And they buy them for $700 million, or they could get acqui-hired by Google. And so that's basically just the team is getting sold to Google. And both of those scenarios, all three of those scenarios could take 8 to 10 years. So your money, even though it's up, your 500K is worth 700K on paper, 1 million on paper, 10 million on paper, can't do anything with it. Can't pay your bills, can't pay the mortgage. Not very helpful. The third thing you're going to want to do is have a thesis. So a thesis is really important. It doesn't need to be necessarily a category. You could say, I want to invest in social apps. You could say, I want to invest in no apps, only hardware companies. Or you could say very specifically what I'm doing, investing in robotics and automation companies. So really have a very strong thesis. Or you could say, I'm investing in Series A companies or subscription companies or companies that are SaaS models, so they sell software as a service. Whatever your expertise is in, whatever you really understand and know as, I would use that product, that's a good thing to invest in. And so you really want to have a thesis, whether it's believing that, delivery is going to be the future, then you could invest in delivery startups, or you could go a little bit back further and you could go food service is something that I think people always need to eat, and I believe in that. And I come from the restaurant world, and I want to see where the tech and restaurants meet. So that is having a thesis. The next thing you want to do is find capital. So you might have some money, you might have 25K, you might have a couple $1 million to invest. You want to make sure you have enough money to build a portfolio. So if you're going to angel invest, it makes no sense to just invest in a couple of companies, because there's a very high likelihood that they're going to go away. And so with angel investing, you're so risky, you're so early, you put in a little bit of money in a lot of companies, and say 60% of them fail, but 2 of them have a decent return, and 1 of them is your Uber or your Airbnb, you've made a really good amount of money. So you want to have enough capital to build out your full portfolio, whether that's only your money, or you're going to take it from friends and family, or you're going to reach out to LPs and start a fund. You need to make sure you have enough capital, not only to invest in the companies, but follow on in the companies. So a lot of VC funds have at least half to 2/3 of their money reserved for those 1 or 2 companies that actually make it, and they raise their Series A. You want to double down. You want to put more money in the companies that are working, and the ones that didn't work out, that's a loss. The next thing is deal flow. You need to generate deal flow. You need to have a lot of companies to choose from so that you can pick 10 or 20 from those over time, maybe 2 or 3 years. You want to pick 10 or 20 of those to be your investments. But if you don't have a lot of deals coming in, you're not going to have a lot of options, and that means you're going to put your money in something that's probably a little bit riskier than you wanted to. And lastly, write a check. This is the easiest and the hardest one. Once you make a decision, you've done your due diligence, you know you want to invest in this company, write the check fast. Don't lollygag, don't mess around. It's very annoying as a founder who, You have 60 meetings with like all these people, you get a bunch of no's, you get some yeses, some maybes, and then you say yes, and you're waiting for the check, and it's like, oh God, this guy's not even going to send it, huh? So you really want to be prompt, and you want to help your companies get to back to work. You don't want them fundraising. So you said, hey, I'm going to give you money. We got a bunch of other people giving you money. Go, stop worrying about the money. Go build the company now, because fundraising is a full-time job in and of itself. So hopefully this helps you understand a little bit better what it takes to be an angel investor, start angel investing. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions, drop it in the comments. I'll be here answering and make more videos. Thanks, guys.